So you're not gonna judge me too hard about this, right? I mean, it is the internet though. Let's go for it. Hey there, it's Olivia. I am back. So if you don't know who I am, just a quick little introduction. I do mostly following my life content. What I am about is international travel. I am also a nurse, a travel nurse specifically, so I talk a little bit about that. And I've been talking about, budget living, trying to get my finances under control. I posted a video, my first popular video was when I talked about my debts that I have. I will put that up here and also down in the description. And then as a follow-up, because it was a popular video, I kind of did a more detailed financial breakdown and also set some goals for myself. That was back in July, or maybe I think it was the beginning of August that I set the goals, and the popular debt video was in July. So I just wanted to give you guys a little update before I went on a trip, because I'm going to be starting a new job when I come back, and it's just going to be a whole financial change. So we're going to just see where I'm at now, and see what I can do to be better. Alright, so here, like I said, my financial goals video, the debt video I showed you, and then the financial goals video is right up here too, and both of these are going to be down in the description. But I'll also just kind of recap what I said in that goals video. So the goals that I set for myself were to pay down my Capital One card, totally have it paid off to zero, put $2,700 extra off of my Chase card, my regular payments plus $2,700 more, get $5,000 into emergency savings, and put $1,700 in towards trip fund because I am choosing to continue traveling, even as I'm on this pay down journey. Sorry, Dave Ramsey. I'm going to be grading myself basically like how I would in school, where so I had 4 points, right? So I'm going to give myself mini scores that can be up to 1 on each point depending on how good I did with it, and then grade how I did with overall goals in the end. So for the first one, we're going to start off strong because I did pay off that Capital One card, so yay me, I get a full 1 point for that one. Not too much else to say for that besides that I'm happy that I managed that. And then we move on to the Chase. So I do want you to keep in mind that I do have some payments that are still processing, because I did use the Chase to pay for air travel and stuff for my trip, but I went ahead and turned around and paid it, but because sometimes it's processing and stuff. Anyways, the point is that my current balance when I pulled my Chase up today is $15,000, $15,007.40. I am bad with numbers, I'm so sorry. But that's what it is, which is not great progress, because my Chase wasn't even quite at $16,000 when I started this whole thing, so that's not even $1,000 down. I am pretty sure that it's about $1,000 once I factor in the payments that are still processing, but in any case, crappy progress. But I'm glad it didn't go up, so I will give myself partial credit. I'll give myself a 0.25. And my takeaway from here is that if I am going to use this card, which I know a lot of people would probably say just don't even use it, but I choose to keep using it. And so I think a more responsible way to go about using it is to, yes, I already have money set aside and everything, but the thing is, if I pay for something with the card and I don't immediately turn around and put a payment towards it, which I can do because I have a balance. It's not like I have a zero balance and I have to wait for it to register to give the payment. If I don't do that and I sit around for a few days, it might go towards my total balance and then I end up paying more interest. And anyways, so I need to immediately, the same day, make the purchase with that card and then put the payment onto the card at the same time. It only takes a couple of extra minutes, and it's definitely going to be worth it for me because it'll help me maintain my progress and make better progress. We're halfway there. We are at 1.25 points because I got full points for the Capital One, and I got a little bit of E is for effort points on the Chase. And then for my emergency savings, I got so close. I got to $4,839.62, which is literally just $200 off. Oh my gosh. I'll talk about this a little bit more at the end of the video, but basically I dropped my work hours and that led to me having to reprioritize a lot of things. And because my emergency savings is already a comfortable level for me and my base expenses, I was like, okay, you know what? That will be okay if I don't quite hit goal. There's some other things that were a little bit more urgent, costing me a little bit more, all that kind of stuff. So I'm giving myself a 0.75 for that because I almost got there, but I didn't. So I at least get a passing grade. And then for the last one, with saving up for the big trip, I messed up there. So basically, I got too busy and stuff got crazy, and I actually forgot how I was putting the money aside. What I was doing was that I was transferring it over to one of my other bank accounts, the bank account that I have specifically for my second job, where all the money there is for savings, like varied types of savings. And I thought that I had transferred it over to the savings account of that account, which is what's for the big trip, but I hadn't. So I was just looking, being like, oh, this checking has more than I thought it should in it. That's extra money from my paychecks. I could just use that to shave off a little bit of extra credit cards. So I put it onto the Discover card, and I only realized when I was compiling everything for the video that that's what I had done. But the Discover card is down to $5,156, and it was at $6,747.42. So there's that, right? But yeah, I gave myself a 0.25 for that because I did something productive with that point, but it wasn't what it was intended for. So yeah. And basically what my total score comes out to is 2.25 over 4, which totals out to a score of 56, which is a solid F. So disappointed in myself. The last time I got a score like that, I think I was in, definitely pre-cal and maybe once or twice in nursing school, because nursing school is a struggle. Put me down some nurse-related emoji down below if you've been through nursing school and you know the struggle, for real. Things I attribute to what happened with my goals is dropping the hours. I made a video about that. I will also put that here and down below. But basically, I realized there was literally no way I was going to be able to do everything I was trying to do outside of pure financial goals if I kept working the hours I was working, which was 60 a week between 2 different jobs in 2 different cities. So I ultimately had to bite the bullet, and my last 3 weeks on this contract, which is now over, oh my gosh, since I've been here since November. Anyways, so yeah, I dropped the hours to 3 shifts a week instead of 4 shifts a week, which resulted in a net loss of about $1,500 over the 3 weeks that I had dropped those hours. And yeah, I had to really reprioritize my finances after that. And then I also ended up spending more money than I initially anticipated on preparing. I tried to give myself enough of it a gap where I could buy little, like, cold weather clothes that I would need for Iceland and things like that, but it ended up being more than I thought it would. So that definitely hurt me. And yeah, those are basically the 2 things that affected me the most in not getting quite where I wanted with these goals. But the positive takeaway is I didn't go more into debt. Actually, I broke down a little debt update for you. So we are now at $15,764.12 for the student loans, $14,587.57 for the personal loan. The Capital One is paid off, so that's not even a thing anymore. The Discover is down to $5,156.30. And the Chase is down to $15,007.40. That one is hard for me to say. I don't know why. Anyways, that totals out to a total of $50,515.39, which is down by $4,715.16, which, I mean, it's still progress. I didn't go more into debt. I stayed on top of the interest and still managed to make a bit of a dent. It could be way better, and I recognize that if I weren't trying to continue traveling as I did this, I would be making much better progress. I'm not gonna lie, I've been keeping up with how the economy is and everything. I am a little bit sheltered because I live in an extreme low cost of living situation right now, and I'm about to be moving in with my parents. And travel nurse pay is abnormally high compared to how a lot of people live, and I think I'm going to get a bit of a wake-up call when I start working just regular staff nurse pay, which is still going to be a little bit elevated because I have a PRN job. If you don't know what PRN is, that's when you're basically a part-time employee except you don't get any benefits. Usually there's reduced expectations for the hours that you work, but honestly PRN is moving towards more just literally part-time and no benefits. So anyways, all that to say, my pay is still going to be a little more inflated than a typical nurse. But I'm glad I'm having this moment to do that before I 1000% commit to the big trip that I'm hoping to do. I might make some modifications after those initial paychecks come in, and I'm like, ooh, how does this feel compared to all the payment obligations that I still have. And yeah, that is where we're at right now. This is going to be my second to last video before we go international. Leave all your comments, feedback, suggestions, advice, support below. Even if you leave a little bit of hate, that's okay too. I've got pretty thick skin as a nurse. So we'll be seeing each other again next time. And until then, make every day a little bit brighter for yourself and those around you. Bye-bye. And stay away from debt and Peruvian credit cards because they have terrible interest rates. I don't have a Peruvian credit card, but I am speaking as someone who has seen them. Anyways, bye-bye! Hey bestie, here's your crown. Thanks for sticking around till the very, very end. And I just want to say this, I'm filming this the same night that I put my first live out. And thank you guys so much. It was a pretty small crowd, but I expected that, for one, because I'm a small channel, and also I announced the live literally the same day. So to everyone who took a moment to tune in, even if just to pop in for 2 seconds and say hi, that was so cool. Thank you so much. I am so excited for reaching the first monetization tier, and I will be keeping you guys updated. Hopefully we can do some international lives because that would be super cool. And yeah, we'll be seeing each other around. Bye bye.